Okay, folks, I got one last story for you. It's for dessert. I'm giving you all of the bad news that's fit to print. Now, this is not going to be any good news, but at least it's something to chuckle about. We love laughing at Republican hypocrisy. And it's all about Jeffrey Epstein, that lovely gentleman that absolutely killed himself. And we know it. And we've got plenty of MAGA defenders to say, absolutely, we did an investigation for sure, and he absolutely killed himself. And Donald Trump is most assuredly not in an Epstein file. In fact, there are no files. There's nothing to see here, folks. Just move on with your lives and pretend like none of this ever happened, okay? Okay, wonderful. Anyway, we also have plenty of angry MAGA types out there, which, by the way, those are the recipients of the Fell For It Again award. Of course he's in the fucking file. Of course he is. Donald Trump is absolutely in the Epstein file. Donald Trump used to be friends with Jeffrey Epstein. There's video of them hanging out together. He said all kinds of nice things about them. I mean, for God's sakes, man, where have you been all these years? And I'm not defending people like Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton was in the fucking file too. We should lock them all up. But no, not my guy, Donald Trump, man. He's fighting those pedophiles out there. He's fighting against that machine, man. He's hunkering down. He's going to beat them. He's going to defeat them. You know, and then all it takes is, you know, his dumbass ex-co-president Elon Musk to drop the bomb and say Trump is in the Epstein file, so he scares shitless of him, you know, because he is. He's in the fucking file. Anyway, today there was old fascist blonde Barbie here. There's a couple of them, but you know, she's one of the worst. Hey, she's not wearing her big fat cross today. What's that all about? But she's starting to field some tough questions today after this Axios report came out and said that Pam Bondi did her investigation and there's no file. We know there's a file. But no, there's no file anymore. It was all Epstein. He had 1,000 victims, and it was just him. Just him. Nobody else was involved.
The DOJ and FBI have now concluded there was no Jeffrey Epstein client list. What do you tell MAGA supporters who say they want anyone involved in Jeffrey Epstein's alleged crimes to be held accountable?
This administration wants anyone who has ever committed a crime to be held accountable, and I would argue this administration has done more to lock up bad guys than certainly the previous administration. And the Trump administration is committed to truth and to transparency. That's why the Attorney General and the FBI Director pledged at the President's direction to do an exhaustive review of all of the files related to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes and his death. And they put out a memo in conclusion of that review. There was material they did not release because, frankly, it was incredibly graphic and it contained child pornography, which is not something that's appropriate for public consumption. But they committed to an exhaustive investigation. That's what they did, and they provided the results of that. That's transparency.
That's transparency, folks. Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein, notorious for having a play island for wealthy people, cameras all over the place, hours and hours and hours of footage, but it wasn't anybody. It was just Epstein, man. He was recording himself. There was nobody else there. You know, it wasn't Prince Andrew. He wasn't there. And it wasn't the Dersh, Alan Dershowitz, who swears up and down that it was just a massage and he kept his underwear on. You know, no. There was no footage. There's no nothing. And we want to make sure that, you know, no children were harmed in this. And we couldn't show you that footage. Nobody wants to see that footage, honey. Although I have heard many of the Epstein's victims are all like, release the not release the footage, release the list. Just release the list. I mean, 10 years ago, what was it? Gawker released all of those files. And that's where we found out that Donald Trump met his wife, Melania, and had sex with her on the Lolita Express. And it talked about Bill Clinton. It talked about Alan Dershowitz. It talked about Prince Andrew. It talked about Kevin Spacey. It talked about a whole lot of people. And then that file, which has been out for over a decade, was re-released back in February of this year, except it was much more redacted. People like Posobiec, MAGA Posobiec, and the Libs of TikTok girl, whatever the fuck her name is, they're out there at the White House holding up this binder going, we got the evidence, we got it right here. Meanwhile, you open it up and it's just nothing but black bars. They basically just re-released everything that had already been released 10 years ago on Gawker, except they redacted a whole bunch more shit. And Posobiec is pissed because he knows it. But you're going to see a lot of coping and seething here. But surprisingly, son of Douchey, he decides to do a little actual reporting at the White House press conference.
Sure.
Caroline. Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts
He's
said,
ready.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction.
Whatever. She's immediately moved on. And by the way, Ducey here was ready. He's like, I got the quote right here, mama. Let's go. But she's pretty good at skating, and walking between the raindrops, as all press secretaries are very good at. She just happens to be just the most blatant liar I've ever seen. I mean, she's worse than anybody I've ever seen. And she's so goddamn... I've seen footage of her preparing for a press conference, behind the door before she walks out into the press conference. And she's literally praying to Jesus. Jesus, give me strength to go out there and tell these idiots what they want to hear. Please give me strength. This woman, this Christian woman, is praying to a brown communist from the Middle East to help her lie better to all the press corps out there. The irony is just amazing. This is the article that came out. Axios, exclusive DOJ FBI conclude Epstein had no client list. Died by suicide. Moving on, folks. President Trump's Justice Department and personal lawyer and FBI have concluded that they have no evidence convicted sex offender and disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures. The dude was absolutely fucking Mossad. We know this. Blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was murdered, according to a memo detailing the finding obtained by Axios. The administration is releasing a video in both raw and enhanced version. They show this video of the common area of the prison that Epstein was being held at in 2019. By the way, who was president in 2019? That's right, folks. It was Donald J. Trump. Epstein just mysteriously dies, kills himself. So I'm sorry, he killed himself in his cell by himself, even though, there was a fucking cop. It was a killer cop in the cell with him who maybe or maybe not tried to strangle him. And then they took him out, and then they put him on suicide watch. And then all the cameras cut off magically, and all the guards fell asleep. But that common area that they're showing, 12 hours of this common area surrounding the death of Epstein, is not even showing his door. His door is behind the camera. The camera that was showing the door, that was the one, the two cameras, those were the two magical cameras that just magically turned off in that time period. It's just, it's weird. It's quite a coincidence. And then the guys fell asleep, and then the next thing you know, he's dead. Wow, man, that's amazing. It's fucking amazing. The administration is releasing a video in both raw and enhanced version that indicates that no one entered the area of the Manhattan prison where Epstein was held the night he died in 2019. The video supports a medical examiner's finding that Epstein died by suicide, and the two-page memo claims why it matters. The finding represents the first time the Trump administration has officially contradicted the conspiracy theories about Epstein activities and his death. Theories that had been pushed by the FBI's top two officials before Donald Trump appointed them to the Bureau. That is just fucking chef's kiss. Both Kash Patel and Dan Bongino, ballhead Bongino, and cross-eyed Kash Patel, both of those guys were fully into the Epstein was murdered conspiracy. They were fully on board with that, and then they get a job at the FBI, head in the FBI, and the deputy director of the FBI. And now all of a sudden, it was suicide, folks. What can I tell you? It was suicide. I was wrong. I looked through the files, and it was suicide. It was. As a social media influencer and activist, Kash Patel, now the FBI director, and Dan Bongino, now deputy director, were among those in MAGA world who questioned the official narrative of how Epstein died. Patel and Bongino have since said that Epstein killed himself, but it has become an article of faith online. Please believe me. Please believe me. Especially on the right, that Epstein crimes also implicated government officials, celebrities, and business leaders, that someone killed him to conceal them. The memo says that no one else involved in the Epstein case will be charged. Moving on, Epstein's associate Ghislaine Maxwell, who is now in jail serving a 20-year sentence for child sex trafficking and related offenses. I wish Ghislaine well. She's a real nice girl. She's a friend of mine. She used to come over from Mar-a-Lago. Really nice girl. I wish her well. That's what he said, folks. Zoom in. According to the memo, investigators closely examined the footage of Epstein Manhattan prison cell, not his actual cell, but the common area, between around 10:40 p.m. on August 9th, 2019, when Epstein was locked in his cell, and around 6:30 a.m. the next day when he was found unresponsive. So that was a nice little window. The footage, which was also reviewed by Axios, couldn't be verified independently, shows no one entering the area, the administration says. The FBI enhanced the relevant footage by increasing its contrast. You are enhancing the camera that is facing away from his cell door. What good does that do? I mean, I could show you this cell, but that camera was broken. I'm going to show you this camera angle that doesn't show his room, but I'm going to enhance it real good for you. So you see, we actually, we did some Adobe software on it. Investigators found no incriminating client list of Epstein, even though Pam Bondi said she had it on her desk. She's so excited. Let's go to that, by the way. She was on Fox and Friends back in February. Let's have a look.
So the Department of Justice is expected to release some of the Jeffrey Epstein files today. This comes after a Republican push for transparency. Griff Jenkins joins us live from Washington with the details. So who's on the list, Griff?
Boy, Lawrence, that is the question. Good morning. And there's no timeline, Lawrence, for when this bombshell may drop today. But if Pam Bondi's teaser to Jesse last night is any indication, we could get some shocking revelations.
I don't think so.
Victims, 200. So we have, well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Recall this all started after President Trump first told our own Rachel Campos Duffy that he was open to releasing some information.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you,
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would. I guess I would. I think that less so because,
Maybe
you
less
don't
so.
know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
Then last month, President Trump signing an executive order calling on agencies to release secret documents. Well, now Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna says she just heard from the DOJ in posting the letter sent from them to X, which reads in part, the integrity of criminal investigations and prosecutions is essential to every component of the department's mission to uphold the rule of law, keep our nation safe, and protect civil rights. What's unclear at this point is how this might affect Epstein's co-defendant, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's currently serving 20 years for her role in covering for Epstein. Steve?
And here's another clip from Bondi on Fox yet again, because that's their safe space. But this is pretty interesting, too.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by...
I opened it recently and I found nothing. Oh, my God. It was just blank pages, man. Oh, my God. They either got up and left or it's just empty. It's empty, but right there in February, it was on her desk.
Trump, I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So
Maybe less so, because, there's a lot of innocent people in that we would want to have any innocent people, I mean, Jeffrey was a nice guy. He's a friend of mine, he liked the girls a little on the young side.
you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
She hasn't cracked open that file yet. This was the picture I was talking about. This is Posobiec and what is this girl's name? DC Drano. That's not her. She is Chaya Reichik. That's right. She's the Lips of TikTok girl. So let's see. Conservative political commentator Rogan O'Hanley, also known as DC Drano, from the left, social media content creator Chaya Reichik, and conservative political commentator Liz Wheeler hold up binders with a cover titled The Epstein Files. With Jack Posobiec at the White House Thursday, February 27th, 2025. That's them right there holding up the file that was released 10 years prior by Gawker, except this one is much more redacted. And they were all so pissed. This happened, this is a couple of months back. This is Maria Bartiromo interviewing the head and the number 2 guy at the FBI.
People don't believe it. Well, I mean, listen, they have a right to their opinion, but as someone who has worked as a public defender, as a prosecutor, who's been in that prison system, who's been in the Metropolitan Detention Center, who's been in segregated housing, you know a suicide when you see one, and that's what that was.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
I know it's hard work, but
Just a year prior, it was Epstein. He was murdered. They're hiding it. There's a file. They had him killed. The liberal elite are the ones that did it, not my guy. Here's Bongino again, a little bit later, talking about how hard it is. His job is really difficult for him.
But that is not what's happening. I don't know what people think me and Kash are doing all day. I mean, I gave up everything for this. I mean, my wife is struggling. I'm not a victim. I'm not Jim Comey. It's fine. I did this, and I'm proud I did it. But if you think we're there for tea and crumpets, well, I mean, Kash is there all day. We share it. Our offices are linked. He turns on the faucet. I hear it. He's there. He gets in like 6 o'clock in the morning. He doesn't leave.
I hear him taking big dumps when I come in. I used to have it all. I used to be a podcast guy, making bank, making big dollars, telling conspiracy theories and talking nonsense and bullshit. I was making so much money and I gave it up to share a space with cross-eyed Kash Patel, and I can hear every fart coming across the hallway.
7 at night. You know, I'm in there at 7:30 in the morning. He uses the gym. I work out in my apartment. But I stare at these four walls all day in D.C., by myself, divorced from my wife. Not divorced, but I mean separated, divorced. And it's hard. I mean, we love each other, and it's hard to...
Yeah, man, it seems really hard, man. Life sucks for you. It's terrible. I did a show on this recently, Kash Patel on the Joe Rogan show, and, this whole Epstein thing, Joe Rogan is Mr. Conspiracy, and this one is a big one for Mr. Joseph P. Rogan, and he really wants to know. He wants the skinny, and he's got Kash Patel on. He wants Kash to tell him, hey, man, I've seen the file. I've seen it all. I know who's in the file, and I'm going to tell you. And Joe's just biting at the bit. Please tell me something.
I mean, I represented some of the worst humans that you can possibly imagine on Earth, literally. The guys that were trafficking children from Mexico into America. And you could put up a professional expert to say, and this is what's going to go on forever. And my job is not the forever. My job is to get you absolutely everything that we can give you. And that's what we're going to do.
When did you become aware of this video that showed that no one had gone in and out of the cell?
Recently.
So why was it recent, though? I mean, if this death was... How long ago was this death? 2 years?
Couple.
2019?
2019.
Oh, really?
2019.
So,
who was president again, Joe? Who was president? Wasn't Joe Biden.
Years.
Well, again, that's part of what I'm going to try to answer for you.
Jeffrey Epstein jail CCTV erased by technical errors. Whoopsies.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
But you see how anybody on the outside, I mean, this is like a perfect storm for something. Can you pull that article up so we can read what it says, Jamie? U.S. prosecutor said the jail mistakenly saved footage from the wrong cell. Sorry. Epstein, a convicted sex offender, first tried to kill himself in July last year and hanged himself in jail.
Hang on.
Yep.
Reread that line.
That he first tried to kill himself in July of last year. Yeah.
How much?
Yeah, that was when he was in jail with that killer cop. He was a police officer who had killed like a half a dozen people. He's a real psycho, and they stuck him in there. And he tried to kill himself then. Like this is some kind of excuse. He tried to kill himself then, so he killed himself later. There's a reason, right? Completely obfuscating the fact that the guards were asleep and the tape that was recording, the camera that was recording his cell door is mysteriously erased. Yeah, man, it's a perfect storm. You can see why people would think it's a conspiracy, don't you? I mean, I know I smoke a lot of weed, and I'm kind of a meathead. I get punched in the head a lot, but it's looking pretty obvious. Don't you think there, Kash?
The public, do you think, knows that?
I didn't know that until right now.
There you go.
Maybe I heard it and forgot. Did you ever hear it, Jamie?
That's why he's on suicide watch, I think.
Oh, okay.
So a guy
hanged himself in jail in August while serving trial on federal sex trafficking charge. He pleaded not guilty to abusing dozens of girls, some as young as 14. Yeah. Soon after Epstein's death in August, 2 of the CCTV cameras outside his cell had malfunctioned and were being examined by the FBI. Found semi-conscious in his prison cell with injuries on his neck. On 25 of July, after this incident, he's placed on suicide watch.
I'm not saying every single camera in the place was working. I'm saying we've got footage and you're getting
just the ones that were facing his door. Those are the only ones that didn't work. Oddly, strangely, weird. Just a coinky dink.
Mm-hmm. And then you can make up your own mind, and the theories can continue. But my job.
So you became aware of this footage recently.
The ones that we're looking at, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, but this is like an article from quite a while ago that was saying that the footage was mistakenly erased.
Look, I mean, it goes back to the same. Ask the people that were in power then. I mean, I get it that you want to hold me to account for their actions, and
no, I'm not saying,
you, not you.
I'm not saying that.
Not you. Just the public in general, and that's okay.
What's confusing to everybody today? First of all, it's very confusing because AI can kind of make anything. Which has got to be a bizarre.
Man, he is just dying to give this guy a pass, man. I mean, Mr. Conspiracy himself is just giving him an out. It's AI. AI, all that footage of me dancing with Jeffrey Epstein at Mar-a-Lago, pointing at the hot girl, that's all AI. It's fake news, folks. It's fake news. Here's Alex Jones. If Joe Rogan is Mr. Conspiracy, this guy is King Conspiracy. He's been kicked off of just about every fucking platform, even though he still owns the name to InfoWars. But he is coping and he is seething. He's in his car doing, a little car video. God damn, man. He will he will sit here and talk about how disappointed he is that it seems like it's a cover-up, but he will somehow or the other in the next 3 minutes twist himself into a pretzel to still blame liberals and Democrats.
Same time, the fact that this is a key, the fact that they didn't just shut up about this, even though they were going to use it for blackmail, or it was too dangerous, seismically for the system to bring it out. And I'm not defending that. I'm saying that would be the thinking. You don't then have Kash, Patel, and Bongino like deer in the headlights, looking like they're hostages, saying, "Oh no, we've seen everything. There's nothing there. No, he killed himself," and put out this stupid video from outside the cell bay with cops dragging trash cans around, going, "Look, this proves he killed himself." You don't do all that unless it's part of a deal with the system that you've got to go out and say that so that you're not complicit in the lie. And that's why they look like they're being tortured, because I think both men have had integrity, and I think you see them losing their souls on live TV. This is going to be an unmitigated disaster. I don't know how they got Trump and the DOJ to do this, because the public is not buying.
Come on, man. Come on. When does the buck stop with the fucking president? It's always somebody convinced him of something. He didn't do anything wrong. They're leading him down this primrose path, man. It's the deep state. Dude, Donald Trump is the fucking president. His second term. He is the deep state. He is the president of the United States, the most powerful man on the planet, certainly the most powerful man in this country. He is in control of the government. He is the fucking deep state. But no. He's being misled. Fauci had him doing this stuff, and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino. They're making this decision for him. Donald Trump doesn't know anything about it. He's completely innocent. There's no way he could have done this.
No one is buying. So I never saw any evidence of Trump involved in any of the stuff that it was all fake. The fake Jane Does, all the crap. E. Jean Carroll, the crazy leftist cat lady, all of it. So now
by the way, E. Jean Carroll, the leftist cat lady that sued him for literally grabbing her by the pussy. He grabbed a woman by the pussy. He's talked about it in his first run up to the election in 2016. We saw the footage. We heard the footage. I see beautiful. I can't help it. I got to start kissing. I don't even wait. What is he not waiting for? Consent. I don't wait for consent. I just start kissing. And if you're a celebrity, they let you do it. They let you do whatever you want. Grab him by the pussy. I don't care. He literally did that to E. Jean Carroll. She describes it in its full intent. She was in a dressing room. He followed her in there. He starts pushing her up against the wall, making out with her, reached up underneath of her dressing, grabbed her right there in the business. And he got convicted of it. It was not sexual assault. He is liable for sexual something. I don't know how he got skated by that, which, by the way, Jim Acosta got fired from his job because he said that he was convicted of sexual assault. And that was enough for Donald Trump to sue the corporation. They paid him off and they fired Jim Acosta, even though that is literally what Donald Trump did and was convicted of it and owes E. Jean Carroll about $80 million because of it. Also because he wouldn't stop fucking talking about her on the campaign trail, just literally just trashing her at every moment, even though he was told, given a restraining order, to not talk about it anymore, not talk about the court case, but he can't keep his fucking mouth shut. So that $5 million, which, by the way, E. Jean Carroll says, I'm not keeping any of it. I'm donating it to all sexual abuse victims. So that $5 million lawsuit turned into like $80 million, and Donald Trump still owes that money. Although he's president, he probably won't pay it off. But anyway, yeah, but Donald Trump's completely innocent, man. I know he's not involved in this.
And being part of the cover-up, the Trump administration has become part of it. I mean, it's just, you cannot see it any other way. So I just got to the office. I'm going to go throw up, actually. This only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now.
Aw.
I'm just watering right now.
Poor baby.
It's because
Look at him. He's trying to cry.
Yeah.
Squeeze a tear out for me, Alex.
I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country, and they're doing so much good.
He's doing so much good.
And then for them to do something like this.
Oh my God.
That's my guts out. Man.
Oh my God, give me some tissue. I'm about to.
The left, they're all complicit. They're openly promoting pedophilia. We know they're pure evil. And they'll think it's all
Immediately turning it on the left. All of this shit. It's just right in your fucking face, Donald Trump. It's right in your fucking face. But the left, they're all a bunch of, child predators out there, the left are.
Oh, look, Alex is sad. The MAGA's tearing itself apart. Your globalist masters literally want you to eat bugs and live in a 5G 200 square foot coffin apartment. Look at the left. Look at them all posing with their Pfizer shots looking like dead zombies. I mean, come on, you guys.
How are you switching from all of this talk, 8 minutes worth of talk about this Epstein thing and whether or not Trump administration is involved in it, which obviously he fucking is. And then the last minute and a half are going to be devoted to Hobbit homes and Pfizer vaccines and dead-eyed psychopathic left-wingers who are globalists, and they're all pedophiles. But my dear leader, Donald Trump, he couldn't be. He just couldn't be involved. It's not fair. It's just not fair. We don't need to hear any more of this dipshit. Cheers, Charlie Kirk. If Trump was on the Epstein list, why didn't Biden release that info to stop Trump from being president? Man, the narrative is already shifting, man. They're all in protect mode. And let's not forget this one, folks. Come on now. Come back with me. I have got to mute this. I'm sorry, because they're playing a song and I don't want this thing to get, flagged or anything. So I'm just going to play this silently. But here's Donald Trump at old Mar-a-Lago in 92. With his nice little early stage comb over. Sweaty, beefy boy. Standing right next to Jeffrey Epstein, doing the white guy dance, biting his lip. Yeah, man. Look at that hot one over there. No, look at this hot one over here. Oh, man, she's sexy. Oh, man, I wouldn't mind grabbing that ass. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, man. Look at him go, baby. Look at him go. Can't wait to get back to my place, boy. You got some girls for me? You know I do, buddy. You know I got some. Look at that one right there. Yeah, man. She's hot. She's hot. Come on, people. Look at him, man. They're joking, they're laughing, they're having a good time. They're just having a great old time in Mar-a-Lago, looking at the hot ladies. I pulled this up a little earlier by mistake, but let's take a look at the timeline here. Trump was quoted in 2002 profile describing Epstein as a longtime friend and terrific guy about whom it's even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them on the younger side. Trump was among the politicians and celebrities who hitched rides on the Epstein private plane in the 1990s. In 2019, shortly before Epstein's arrest on sex charges, longtime Trump advisor Steve Bannon prepped Epstein for a potential interview. That interview, trying to remember the guy's name. Oh my God! But I've heard I heard some of the recordings of Epstein talking about how we've been friends for decades. I mean, they live next door to each other, all down in Florida, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein, they're partying at Mar-a-Lago. You just saw the video, folks. You saw it. Trump chose for labor secretary in his first term Alex Acosta. Not to be confused with Jim Acosta I was just talking about. Alex Acosta, who was Donald Trump's I believe, labor secretary in his first term. But back in 2000 and, God, I want to say 2006, 2007, he gave Epstein, he was his lawyer, and got all federal charges dismissed and only was convicted on lower level charges, and got him the sweetest of sweetheart deals where Epstein got to leave prison every day during the day to go operate his business because he was a financier. And, too many people were relying on him, for payroll and for their jobs. So you can't put this criminal in jail with other criminals. He's got to be able to get out on a work furlough every day. And then he gets to come back and check in at night like the jail is a fucking hotel. But Alex Acosta got him that sweetheart deal, who, as a U.S. attorney, oversaw a sweetheart plea deal for the Epstein that the judge later ruled illegal. Well, it was too late because the prison term is already over with. And then that guy, Alex Acosta, who was Epstein's lawyer, ended up becoming Donald Trump's labor secretary in his first term. It's all so fucking incestuous. Trump chose for labor secretary in his first term Alex Acosta. Yeah, there you go. Alan Dershowitz, the Trump supporter who served on the president's second Senate impeachment trial, was one of the defense lawyers who helped Epstein secure that plea deal. And he also says, I wore underwear. I got massages from young underage girls, but I wore underwear and it was just massages. I swear to God. I didn't touch him. It was just massages. Sure, Alan. The Dersh. Epstein 2019 suicide occurred while he was in custody in the Federal Bureau of Prisons, an agency overseen at the time by the Trump-appointed Attorney General William Barr. After longtime Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested on sex trafficking charges in 2020, Trump told reporters, "I met her numerous times over the years, especially since I lived in Palm Beach." And I guess they lived in Palm Beach. I guess. I wasn't sure. I wasn't aware. I mean, they did come over and visit all the time, but I wasn't aware. But I wish her well. Whatever it is, I wish her well. Trump waffled about whether he would declassify the Epstein file during a Fox News interview. I showed you that. But the network edited out that portion of his answer, which they did, but I found the actual full one. Anyway, old Donald Trump. Good old sweaty, beefy Donald Trump. He's got his lawyer, Pam Bondi, looking into it. Oh, wow, they didn't find anything. That's amazing. I told you they weren't going to find anything. Epstein file less so because, we wouldn't have want any innocent people getting wrapped up in all of that nonsense in Michigas. We wouldn't want that. I learned that word Michigas from my Jewish friends. They're all good lawyers and accountants. Of course he's in the fucking file. Of course he is. All these coping and seething MAGA types out there doing everything they can, twisting themselves into pretzels to defend the dear leader, even though it is so fucking obvious that he's involved in this shit. It's so obvious. But they will do anything that they can to obfuscate for the man. It is a cult. It is absolutely a cult. I mean, the MAGA supporters that go to the rallies aside, they will never leave him. They love him like he is Jesus, tap dancing Christ. But these guys, like Alex Jones and Bongino and all those guys, Alex was right. They're selling their soul. And Alex is lining up to do that same deal. He's squeezing out some tears. Oh my God. I can't believe my president. He's my president. He's doing such wonderful things. I mean, the alligator Auschwitz on its own is so amazing. It just warms the cockles of my heart. Don't you feel how warm my cockles are? Oh my God, man. What are we fucking doing here, folks? It is so obvious, and it is so painful to watch these guys. But at the same time, with all the horribleness in the world, at least we can chuckle at the hypocrisy of it. And by the way, in those interviews that, God damn it, I wish I could remember his name, the guy that interviewed him, interviewed Jeffrey Epstein before he died. In the tape, Epstein was talking about how Donald Trump would do these little things where he would call up one of his friends while he is in the presence of his friend's wife. And he would call up his friend and he would say, "Hey, John, I got a couple of hot ladies tonight. You want to come over for a visit?" And he's got him on speakerphone. And the guy's like, "Oh, yeah, Don, I can't wait to come over there. I hope they're hot and sexy and they got big boobs and sexy, sexy asses. I can't wait to come over there. Oh, by the way, John, I've got your wife standing here. She heard the whole thing. I tell you what, if you want to make her happy, let her sleep with me, and then maybe this will be water under the bridge for all the indiscretions you've done." Epstein talked about how Donald Trump cucked all of his friends in ways like that. And Epstein was part of it too, man. He's a scumbag, probably Mossad, probably. And the idea that he had, recording devices in every room of his island fuck mansion and didn't record anybody, or there are no recordings, or the recordings are all him and none of the celebrities or the politicians, none of them. There's a reason why Bill Clinton will never go to jail for this, because if Bill Clinton goes to jail for this, Donald Trump's got to go to jail for this. That's why. And by the way, Elon Musk's brother, what's his name? Kibble? Kibble. Yeah. Kibble Musk. He was dating one of Jeffrey Epstein's girls. So that's probably why Donald Trump thinks that Musk has some dirt on him, because his brother actually was involved in it too. So, Donald Trump was really nice to Elon Musk, even when they were fighting, until Elon did that whole, dropping the bomb. And, Donald Trump, he was in the Epstein file too. And then, of course, Elon Musk, he's a scared little boy, and he's like, maybe I went a little too far. Maybe. But nevertheless, Donald Trump has got all of his MAGA sycophants and podcast bros out there running cover for him. He's got his own personal lawyer, which is not his personal lawyer. She's the fucking attorney general. She's covering it up for him. Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, they're doing everything they can in the FBI to obfuscate and pretend like nothing to see here, folks. And we will all keep on chugging along, and Donald Trump won't go to jail. No elites go to jail. Hell, man, they just let Diddy off. And we all saw that fucking footage too. Dragging that woman down a hallway by her hair, beating her, kicking and screaming to drag her back into an orgy she was desperately trying to get away from. We saw the footage, but if you're rich and you're powerful, you get off. You don't go to jail. You just pay a fine, and then you get to go on living your life. And maybe that's why America is so disillusioned right now, because we all see it. If you're rich and you're powerful, you can do anything you want, and you don't ever receive any consequences. And Donald Trump is no different. Anyway, that's the show for the day, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were enlightened, informed, and if you wouldn't mind, I'd appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I'll love you a long time. Not in that way, because I'm not no weirdo like Donald Trump. Anyway, I really appreciate you watching, and thank you very much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you next time. You take care. Bye-bye. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, please like and subscribe. Keep rocking.